Good morning, it's Melissa, Mother Lover for Life, 100%, coming to you doing the Sacred Path cards again today. I hope all of you are enjoying the first bits of winter that we're having. It's getting a little chilly outside. That's not going to stop me from going to upload this video, so I hope all of you get out in nature even though it's chilly and get in touch with your eternal spirit. That's what I'm going to do today. But first I'm going to start by doing this teaching and learning this morning to get my day started off with a positive focus. Today I'll be choosing the Four Directions spread, and the Four Directions spread is a broad overview of how you are balancing your shields. Each shield is a part of your basic medicine or makeup. That allows you to be who and what you are. In using the term medicine, once again, we are expressing the unique healing properties that every living thing has been endowed with since before the beginning of the physical world. Everything in our universe has the potential to be healing rather than harmful. Each flower, bird, tree, person, plant, and cloud has a message that can express something that will allow another creature in nature, if it is wounded or seeking wisdom, to grow and heal. So, to understand what your personal shields are, you have to evaluate your strengths and your weaknesses with a cold eye without letting your ego get in the way. So there's four directions. It's illumination, clarity, gratitude, and wisdom. And basically, this is a 4-card spread that goes in a circular form. And I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these cards. And the East door expresses the spiritual door that I'm now opening in my life. And this card is the spiritual seed that needs fertile ground and nurturing. How you accept the role of nurturing depends on your present situation or your state of mind. So I'm open to nurturing. I'm open to nurturing myself and nurturing others, and creating that fertile ground that I'm going to have to plant this seed in, because if I don't have fertile ground and I'm not nurturing the ground and the seed, then I'm not going to have a fruitful harvest. So through difficult life experiences, I've learned that. You know, that you have to have fertile ground, a spiritual foundation with fertile soil and nurturing of that seed in order to grow what I'm trying to grow in my present life and situation and within my fertile mind. So I'm going to shuffle these cards, and the West Shield, yeah, introspection and goals. That's one of the other shields. So wisdom, gratitude, introspection, and goals. I'm having a brain toot. Yep. Still not perfect. So I hope all of you are focusing on something positive in your life today, even though there are a lot of life challenges going on right now. This isolation and stuff could drive a person mad, but luckily I've spent a lot of time alone, so it doesn't seem to be bothering me a whole lot. Maybe a little bit, if I'm real honest, but you know, if I'm in good company with myself and I'm a friend to myself, that usually seems to help. So the mind can be a scary place sometimes. Usually when I connect my heart and my mind together and they're working simultaneously, I usually have better life experiences. So I'm going to fan these cards out, and we will see what Great Mystery and Great Spirit have to share with us today for a morning focus and teaching. Let's take a few deep breaths. Release all the stress that's in my body that's staying in there, and release my worry and control over my life and the situations that are going on in the world and my family life and personal life. And I ask Great Mystery and Great Spirit to help me be a pure light of joy, love, peace, abundance, happiness. Thank you. I'm grateful to be able to share this message with you today. There's been times in my life where there's no way in hell I would have done online video recording of myself. So I'm facing my fears of being seen, and, you know, even in my good and bad times, my earlier videos. This is a good way. These cards are a good way, a good tool for me to use during this difficult time in my life of transitioning, and trying to, eliminate the bad cycles that I've had in my life and the unhealthy behavioral patterns and thought patterns. It gives me a good positive focus, and sharing these messages with you gives me purpose. And it's a good way, I guess, from being a nurse, it's a good way for me to do self-assessment and to see my own growth process before my eyes. So it's a way to hold myself accountable, and try to be in true authenticity and be true to myself while being creative at the same time. So that's why I do these cards. It's not about money. It's about growing myself and my spirituality and having fertile ground and spiritual foundation to, grow my spiritual seed. So we're going to draw 4 cards. This card is the spiritual seed that needs fertile ground and nurturing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Thank you for tuning into my channel today. I hope that you can find this reading and morning focus helpful in some way, shape, or form. So the first card I drew is Medicine Wheel, Cycles and Movement. 7. So when I realized that I'm just having, this is just a normal part of life that I'm going through, learn the lessons and use the wisdom that I've gained through the difficult life challenges that I've been experiencing. Know that if I continue to just realize that this is just a cycle and movement and that it's not going to last forever, and that this is just part of my cycle, and that my life is changing and so am I, and I'm moving in a positive direction. And if I continue to know that and remind myself that this is just part of the cycle and movement that I'm in, and continue to nurture myself, ground myself, and be gentle on my spiritual seed and myself, and the fertile ground that I'm nurturing it on, because it takes love and patience and gentleness and kindness with yourself in order to grow. In my past, I think I've been very hard on myself, and that just creates stagnation and more pain. Stones that border sacred space, the hoop of life made whole. Eagle, coyote, bear, come sing with great white buffalo. Here we greet the winds of change with praise, grandfather. We praise grandfather sun. We honor the wholeness of all coming together as one. The medicine wheel is sometimes called the sacred hoop. This symbol of all life cycles has been given to the people of Native America, an evolutionary blueprint for centuries. Each cycle of life is honored in a sacred way, giving us a way to see the value of each step of our pathway and a new understanding of our growth process and patterns. Traditional Native American teachers always teach the children of their tribe to feel the wind, so that they will know what to do if they're lost or afraid. If the wind blows from the west, they would sit and look inside their hearts for courage or an answer. If the wind came from the south, they would stop pretending to know all the answers and find humility, perhaps listening to another child who knew the way home. If the wind caught them in a whirlpool of motion, they would wait until help arrived. If wind came from the north, the children would know that elders in their wisdom knew where to look for them. When the wind came from the east, they were to use their good sense or logical ideas that would bring an answer to their predicament. The medicine wheel is the blueprint for all situations and can be used in a multitude of ways. The medicine wheel card portends a time of cycles and or movement. You are asked to notice which stage of the cycle you are presently experiencing. Is it the beginning, the creation, the growing time, and developing or end cycle? How you look at where you are will assist you in clarifying what it is that you need to do next. Any retreat, hesitation, or stopping has now ended. With this card, you are being put on notice that stagnation is over and new beginnings have taken root in the present. Don't get caught up in old patterns. Notice which direction on the medicine wheel will assist you in forward movement and apply that lesson to your life. Your choices are illumination and clarity, east, faithfulness and humility, south, introspection and goals, west, or wisdom and gratitude, north. It is now time to decide for yourself which type of movement will keep the wheel turning. In all cases, the medicine wheel card assures you that life continues. The quality of the new cycle depends upon you, your actions, and attitudes towards growth. So today I'm trying to have a positive attitude towards growth because I know that when I resist the growth that's going on in my life, I meet that resistance, then I am not in harmony with Great Spirit and Great Mystery, and that just leads to more pain and non-growth. And then I won't have the fertile ground to nurture the spiritual seed that I'm trying to grow within me. And then I stop the movement of the cycles and my growth. So I'm grateful to have that healthy state of mind today and know that. And I'm going to have to remember that throughout the day to continue making healthy choices and know that I'm just going through a cycle and a movement. And I'm going through a death and a rebirth, and the old me thoughts and behaviors have to die in order for me to continue nurturing that spiritual seed within me, and it takes self-love and self-nurturing. The South card expresses where your faith should be placed or where a loss of faith has caused you to feel weak. You must determine which application touches the child within you. The child knows the truth due to its faith and innocence. So, powwow. Sharing quickening. So, I've been sharing my quickening with the world or on YouTube. And I've been doing that for a while now. I'm placing my faith in Great Mystery because my inner child knows the truth, and I know that if this is helping me, that it can reach out and help to, help other people. And I'm trying to have a positive focus in my life to grow my spiritual seed because due to the difficult life situations, I did have a little loss of faith, and it did make me feel weak. And others lost faith in me, which just made me lose faith in myself and faith in Great Mystery. But the child within me knows that if I'm sharing my quickening and my truth, that faith and my innocence within me, that child within is growing stronger every day. And I'm grateful for that because I didn't know if I was going to make it, be able to get up after this last bout. So gathering of teepees, new friends and old, trading of stories told and retold, a blanket for a basket, a horse for a prize, foot races and dances night till sunrise, exchanging the goodness that each member brings, allowing the heartstrings of our nation to sing. Each year, when the richness of summer moved across the earth mother and Old Man Winter was just a memory, most bands and tribes of each nation gathered for what has become known as a powwow. This time of gathering was a quickening for the people. As the growth of a child in the womb feeds its mother's heart with joy, these gatherings produced a quickening of talents that fed the people. If the talking drums have signaled a powwow, you are being put on notice to gather with others of like mind and exchange ideas. The quickening of some aspect of your life will be aided if you use the support system and see what type of support you can call upon from others. The Powwow card is marking a time of calling in your markers. You may need assistance or just a friend to be a sounding board. Your focus will become clearer and you may receive the boost you need just from an encouraging word or two. The quickening is inside of you and speaks of the time just preceding birth. Whatever you are giving birth to at this time can be assisted by gathering your friends around you for the needed support. So that's what I've been doing, trying to gather my friends, true friends around me that are able to speak, 100% truth, be able to look at their shortcomings, and I can look at my shortcomings, and without, putting each other down and being lighthearted, we're able to grow. I don't really like constructive criticism because I don't think being critical helps, but that's just my personal opinion. But we're able to bounce ideas and things off of one another, and we can share our quickening with each other and whatever we're trying to give birth to at this time, and the ideas, by sharing our pain and the growth that and wisdom that we've received through going through those painful and life experiences and making it through them, we can encourage one another. So I'm grateful to be able to share my quickening with you and be able to walk in beauty, balance, and truth today, and try to be a living example of what I'd like to see in my own life and within myself, and honor the knowledge that I've been given, the wisdom. So I'm grateful for that today, and that's what helps me continue to grow the child within in truth, and know that my faith and innocence is where the fertile ground really is, because it's in non-judgment of others, myself, and the life experiences that have been hard for me, because ultimately they've changed me and helped me become the person that I am becoming today. The West card represents how to find the inward answer that introspection brings. To reach our goals, we must seek our own truths as to what we desire, how we plan to fulfill that desire, and what our purpose is in meeting that goal. The West card gives the tool that may assist in finding those truths. So I just got done saying death and rebirth. So shaman's death and rebirth, 41. So I have been going through a death and rebirth, allowing the old self to die, or that ego, or clinging to the things from my past that no longer work for me and they do not serve my greater good, only creates stagnation and more pain. And I try to be more mindful today of that in order to grow. So, Grandfather, I do ask for death, for the parts of me that will no longer hear or speak the truth, which are too blind to see. Grandmother, give me birth again, with love as my guide, truth and beauty as my path, with nothing left to hide. The teachings of the shaman's death have many varied forms in the ceremonies of Native America. The idea of death as a means to experiencing new life is a common belief. Excuse me. The shadow side of self, which inhibits growth, is constantly forced to die. These deaths occur on a daily basis, whether they be our fears, our doubts, our bad habits, our negative thoughts, or self-importance. These deaths mark spiritual progress and speak of the ability of humankind to walk in beauty. Every death of a part of the shadow announces the birth of a new talent or gift contained in the self. Each victory over a part of self that does not walk in beauty is a rebirth in itself. Every time a person reaches a crossroads and a decision must be made, the change in attitude marks the death of the old and a birth of the new. A shaman is a person who is willing to confront the greatest fears and shadows of physical life. Shamanism is also the ability to commune with all spirits dwelling on all levels of creation. Excuse me. Bat is the Mayan and Aztec symbol for rebirth. In choosing the shaman's death card, you are being put on notice that a death cycle or ending is in progress. Before the rebirth can occur, the habit, the attitude, relationship, or part of self that is dying must be looked at. Assist the process by consciously allowing the old to be removed. Let go and then make way for the new cycle of life to take hold. Remember that you are creating fertile ground for new adventures. When you are willing to let your old identities die, the rebirth cycle is always full of promise and growth when you allow the old patterns to die with dignity. So that's what I'm doing. Trying to let my old thoughts of myself die with dignity and allow myself to let go of my old identities or the identities that others had for me and the roles that they thought I ought to play in their life and in my own. Every time anyone wishes to change old habits and begin life again in a new and more productive way, there is a shaman's death. If old corn stalks were not burned off and plowed under, the soil would never be fertilized, and new corn could not grow the next year. So that's basically what I'm doing. The shaman's death is one symbol of this growing understanding that leads to wholeness. So I'm grateful to be able to know that I'm having cycles and movements, sharing my quickening and my death and rebirth with YouTube and people that want to listen. The North card expresses the wisdom you will gain if, excuse me, let me start over. The North card expresses the wisdom you will gain if you follow a true course and apply the knowledge of the other three cards. The North is also the place of the elders, gratitude and healing. The North card may be a tool you may use for seeking personal healing and or for discovering what blessings you should give thanks for. The shawl. And there's a rainbow in there. I don't know if you can see that. Returning home. 35. So I have to return home to Great Mystery and Great Spirit and my eternal spiritual immortal being in order to seek peace and calm and comfort and stillness within me. Otherwise, I can't create beauty in my life or within myself, and I don't have the fertile ground to nurture and fertilize and grow that spiritual seed that I'm trying to grow at this time. Earth Mother welcomes her children home when they have lost their way. The trail was lonely and so long. She whispers for them to stay. Within the protection of the shawl, where love abides again, their hearts may open to recall all relations as their friends. Many people across the world have heard the saying, home is where the heart is. Traveling bands of Native Americans have known that each time they broke camp and moved to another location, home moved with them. Home was not necessarily the movable dwellings or belongings of the tribal people, but rather their connection to Earth Mother and to each other. The home of any gypsy, nomad, or wanderer lives inside the hearts of those loved ones who represent security and nurturing no matter where the traveler may be. The difference between the people and those people, if that the people have stayed on the sacred path because the behavior of those people has reminded them of why they need to walk in beauty. This teaching applies to every race. The people the people are those who have taken the shawl and live in harmony, honoring the sacred space of all life forms. It is time to let go of the I, and time to take the shawl that covers the eternal we. If the shawl has fallen across your shoulders, you are being invited to return home. If you have forgotten yourself recently, it's now time to remember your essence and your potential. If you have walked a crooked trail by falsely judging others, it is now time to come home to the loving heart and see the value in all paths of life's chosen lessons. You may be coming home to the magic that you once believed in, or to a new sense of well-being. But in every case, you are returning to a temporarily forgotten state of being. In every life, there is a need to return to the simplicity of happiness. If you have forgotten how to find the simple truths that once supported your inner joy, it is time to return home. Wearing the shawl is coming home to the arms of the Earth Mother and being loved. The responsibility of taking the shawl is being loving to others who have forgotten the sacred path or their way home. So that's what I'm trying to do. Each person who takes the shawl comes into alignment. We are being taught to acknowledge the beauty in each unique expression of creation, whether it be human, creature being, plant person, stone person, or our worst enemy. The shawl may be too heavy for some people to carry on their shoulders, if it is a means that harmony must be lived daily without expectations. So that's a good lesson for me today. I hope that you can have found this as helpful as I did. Know that we are just having cycles and movements. We are sharing our quickening with others. We are experiencing death and rebirth on a daily basis. And I am returning home to my eternal spirit within my sacred heart. And that's where I find peace. And I am able to carry the shawl on my shoulders because I have spiritual strength today, because I'm nurturing my spiritual seed. And I hope all of you can find the beauty in nature and the beauty within yourselves, and continue to nurture your seed. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm grateful to be able to share this message with you. I hope you can find it helpful. I'm going to go out in this windy day and go upload this video. And I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Peace. Mother Lover out. Have a good day.